Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or for those with significant Aries placements. There may be a message in here for you. So first off, Aries, you may hear my dog snoring in the background. He's just taking a little nap. But to get started with your reading, I'm getting a very, very strong Virgo energy coming through your reading today. So it's coming through a couple of different ways. Maybe you have Virgo somewhere in your chart. It doesn't have to be, though. It could be a hermit energy. It could also be the sixth house that maybe you're working with at the moment, or like things that have to do with the sixth house in some way. So I just read like a short description from one of my other guidebooks that was talking about sustainability, like your daily work, like health and routine, well-being, things like that. So maybe those are things that you're concerned with. I feel like maybe there's like, it could have to do with like physical well-being, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It's just well-being in general is just how it's coming through. There could also be like a specific Virgo energy that you're connecting with. It's so interesting. Okay, so like just before this reading, as I was like preparing and like going about my business, I was thinking about Claire Saffett. She's a professional baker. She has a channel on YouTube, and she is like one of my favorite bakers. Like I have both of her cookbooks, and she's just such a great teacher. Like she teaches, like she goes through recipes on her on her YouTube and things like that. And I always thought that she was a Virgo, and then today, just because I was thinking about her in this reading, I googled her birthday, and of course she is a Virgo. So maybe there's like a Virgo person or someone with Virgo in their chart somewhere that you're connecting with, or that you're learning from, or that like maybe you are learning some sort of like health conscious kind of habit maybe, or something like that from a Virgo energy. It doesn't have to be those. That's just sort of like it's how it's coming through, but there are multiple ways in which this could relate to you. So just keep that in mind. Baking for me has been something that is helpful for anxiety, just because it like, so one thing I love about Claire Saffett, what sort of like sets her apart from other like chefs and bakers and things like that, is that like she is so good at like teaching skills. It's not just about like giving a recipe and then like expecting you to follow the steps and all that, but it's also like she teaches you skills that helps you to like transferable skills, where it's like if you're baking a recipe that is not hers, for example, you can see, oh, this is how Claire would do it. This is how Claire would take this recipe and like shift it, or like make. So it's kind of like something like maybe you're connecting with someone. Like it's like you go there to connect with, or like there's a teacher who has a particular subject like baking, but it's actually like you learn much more than just baking, right? Like she's helped me so much with patience, with like being like trusting the process, also knowing how to like correct yourself if you make a mistake, like that thing, or like pitfalls that you can look out for, and also just like doing things the way that they should be done. That's a very Virgo energy for me. It's like Virgos have very particular, almost like detail-oriented ways in which to do things, because they make sense, right? Or because they help you in ways that like maybe that you wouldn't expect, right? And maybe it takes a little bit more effort. I don't know how this is. I don't know. Maybe you're learning from a Virgo. Aries is how it's coming through. Or perhaps you're just connecting with like your sixth house, like your well-being in whatever way that is. And learning something is actually how it's coming through. Okay. I'm gonna pull cards for you, Aries. I want like it feels so much like a Virgo reading. Okay. Beginnings East. Yeah, I feel like you're maybe learning something new. Like it could be that you're like picking up a new hobby or something like that. Or if it's not hobby, it's like maybe like a healthy habit or something like that. Like picking up a new habit or routine, or like you're wanting to learn something. I feel like there's a teacher here for you. It's coming through as being like sorry, I'm getting distracted by my dog snoring. Yeah, maybe there's a bit of like a hermiting energy. If it's not like you're learning from another person, it could just be that you're going inward, maybe, or seeking answers within yourself. It could also be that, but you're at the beginning of something. I feel like this is something that you I was also getting this energy, especially with like Claire Saffitz, like she's a professional baker. That's what she does for a living. And it's like maybe you're connecting with someone who you see as being like they're a professional while you're at the beginning. That's sort of how it's coming through. Like even if they're not a professional, they have more expertise, or they've been doing this longer, or more experience, or whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to be tied to work, though. Sixth house also includes that as well. But it could be something where it's like maybe you're connecting with someone who has more experience where you're at the beginning stage, and it's like you're learning from them. And I was just thinking, like, if I ever got the chance to meet Claire Saffitz, like, and let's say I had to like bake a dessert for her, right? That would be really intimidating because she's an expert at this subject. So me having to bake something for Claire Saffitz would be intimidating, right? There's something like that coming through, like a sort of like feeling like a beginner at something when someone that you're connected with is an expert in that field. But I was also thinking like in her life, she's probably, of course, not probably, she probably is the expert at baking in her family or in her circle. But I'm sure that there are people in her life that like are much better at like cooking than her. So there may be something like that. I don't know, Aries. I feel like there's something about like I think it's very difficult to intimidate an Aries. It would take someone who's like quite good at whatever they do to intimidate an Aries, but I feel like maybe you're feeling a bit intimidated by someone in a good way, not in a way where it's like they're being it feels more like respect and admiration. That's how it's coming through. Perhaps wanting to learn from them. Learn something from them. Beginnings and East. It's like I feel like whatever it is for you, Aries, you're like you have water and then the outer core. Interesting. I'm not going to take this one. I'm just going to, because this is the one that flipped up like this way facing up. What was I saying there? Oh, you've just like touch the surface of something is how it's coming through. I feel like is this you or is this someone else? Creation water. Maybe it's something where it's like maybe you are being asked to like metaphorically bake something for a professional baker. That sounds kind of, I don't know what it is for you, Aries. Like it's like you're creating something, or you're feeling like maybe there's somebody that you respect and admire that you're wanting to like do something for, is how it's coming through. Like you want to bake them a cake or something. I don't know. There's a little bit of I feel like maybe you have an idea or like an inspiration or something like that. It kind of feels like you're wanting to like give somebody something. Again, this reading could be flipped entirely in reverse, so just take it how it resonates. This is just how I'm going to describe it. It feels like you are trying to think of a way to like honor somebody or like give them a gift of appreciation or something, especially if you've like learned something from them or like they've helped you with something. And it's like maybe the thing that like if I were Claire Saffitz, probably the last thing I would want to receive is something baked, like a dessert. Not because I wouldn't appreciate, but like it's like that's something that's her job, right? Like, so it could be something like I don't know. It's kind of like maybe you're trying to think of something like that, Aries. Like maybe there's something. I feel like there's this creation water is coming through as being like an idea of a manifestation, like it feels like a creation, like something that you haven't created yet, but there's an idea. It's in the idea form. I feel like maybe there's something where it's like you want to like give something to someone who has helped you or who has like taught you something valuable, and it's like you want to give back. That's how it's coming through, and it's like trying to figure out what it is that you could give to this person. That's how it's feeling. And it may not be the thing that they taught you, right? It might be something that they would need rather than like something that I don't know. It could be something like that, Aries. Maybe it's like you want to have a gift that would be appreciated by them, is how it's coming through. What could this person want is just how it's feeling to me. Everybody has some sort of like thing that they're not good at. I feel like there's something like that. Like it's just like I don't know. Maybe you're okay, I'm gonna put one more card to see where this goes. Because the creation water card, I always see this as being sort of like a wise woman, right? Like someone with a lot of wisdom. This feels like not you, but it also kind of feels like maybe there's a bit of a distance between you and, or like there's something that you're considering, or like an idea of something that maybe you're playing with or like thinking about, but you're not quite like pulling it in yet for whatever reason. It could be something that has like your attention, you're curious about it, but like you're keeping it at a distance. It feels like an idea. I don't think it's necessarily a person. It feels kind of like an idea. It's something that you're going to create or manifest. You have an idea, but you're keeping it at a distance for the moment. I think perhaps because it has something to do like it may take a bit of effort, or it's like it would require like a big energy investment or big time investment or big financial investment maybe for some. It's kind of like whatever this idea is, it requires a big investment of resources in whatever way. So maybe you're keeping a distance from it at the moment. It's like you're not quite pulling it in yet. You haven't quite like engaged with it fully. It's more just like an idea, something that you're thinking about. I don't know if that has to do with like something that you're trying to offer, or just like something in general that you've been considering. Maybe it's not a gift. Okay. This card really wants to come out. The fluidity outer core. You have change at the bottom of the deck. Because I'm kind of seeing this as being like, this is what you've learned from them, is how it's coming through. This is something that you've learned from them. Because it kind of looks like a teacher and a student energy. I feel like you're sort of coming through a bit more as a student in this case, Aries. But again, flip it if it's not resonating for you. So if you are the teacher, maybe there's a student here that is trying to like, I don't know, it's feeling very much like show up for you in some way, like appreciate or there's a lot of like respect that I'm getting from this energy, and admiration is how it's coming through. This also doesn't have to be a teacher-student relationship. I'm not sure. Perhaps not in the formal sense. It does feel like experience-wise, there's a bit of a difference there. Bit of a difference in terms of experience in whatever this is. Okay, I'm gonna pull an animal card first. Could be something like a Christmas gift, maybe. If it's not like whatever, a token of appreciation, maybe you're like thinking of like Christmas gifts for people or something like that. What kind of gift would they appreciate? Is just like, it's like, maybe you're pondering that. Is how it's feeling. Whale. All this water, Aries, which is interesting. That's a card about like deep emotional fulfillment. I actually feel like this is the idea that you have. I feel like you have like a really good idea, is how it's feeling to me, of a manifestation. It doesn't have to be a gift. I don't know why it's coming through like that, but especially if it's like for somebody else, it's like you have a good idea. But there may be something about it that you think is like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, it's that kind of energy. Like, I don't know if they would like this. I don't know if they would appreciate this. I don't know if they would, I don't know. Are you dealing with someone who's really picky? Because it kind of feels like, okay, no offense if you're a Virgo watching this or if you have Virgo in your chart. I love Virgo energy, but some of the potential shadow aspects of Virgo energy are that like very nitpicky. It's like difficult to like make them happy, right? Because they have a lot of, they can, if they're sort of in the shadow aspect, have like be very critical, right? For example. But it's like, I don't know, I'm not necessarily getting this vibe from this person. It just feels more like you I don't know. Like, it's like, this like wise woman, right? Like what could they possibly need or want? Maybe you see them as having like a lot already. So what could they possibly need or want? I don't know. It's like, what, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to read the whale. That it talks about deep emotions. A desire to delve deeper, profound peace, and ancient wisdom. The whale represents profound emotional health and stability. Whale personalities are not afraid of emotional expression or traversing difficult terrain, as they have overcome many challenges in their lives. These experiences have enriched them, given them stability, strength, and a depth that is rare. Whale energy is usually linked to the feminine forces of compassion and communication. We can depend on whale personalities when all else seems lost and trust them to be a beacon in our darkest hour. When in balance, calm, steady, deeply compassionate. When out of balance, heavy, slips into old story. To bring into balance regular self-care. Okay, so it's kind of coming through like, I feel like this person, whoever this, I'm gonna keep calling them a Virgo energy. They may not be though, because there's water. There's lots of water in your energy right now. This feels like a very deep emotional connection. Whatever this is, a very deep emotional connection. I feel like there's something here about like, I was kind of getting something like a, I don't know. This feels like you're like shopping for Christmas presents or something like that. But it's like, what was coming through with this, especially because it's coming through this like emotional well-being energy, that something that would be beneficial to their emotional well-being. Like I'm getting something like a subscription service, like a subscription to something, like I don't know what people even get subscriptions to anymore that are not like streaming services. I don't know, maybe it's like a subscription to something that would be beneficial to their well-being, or something like, if we're going back to that example of what Claire Saffitz being a baker, instead of baking her something, because probably that's not something that she needs or wants or whatever, it would be like you could cook her a really good meal, right? Because maybe she's not as good of a cook. I don't know. I bet she really is a good cook, but I'm just saying, like, things like where like this might not be a strength of theirs. It could be something that like that helps them with their well-being or something like that, Aries. I don't know. This feels like it's taking up quite a bit of your mind space at the moment, or your emotional space at the moment. But it feels kind of like you have an idea, but you're like hesitating about it. It's like you have something, you have an idea, but it's, you're not quite pulling the trigger on it yet for whatever reason. Like you haven't, it feels kind of like something that you're, creating, right? Like it's not something that you just go out and buy. It feels kind of like a bit more personal than that for you, Aries. Like it's like something where it's like you're putting in an investment of time, energy, perhaps money or financial resources in whatever way. It's just coming through as being like, this is, feels a bit more significant than just a gift, is how it's coming through. Like just like the, like a present. It feels more like a gesture or something like that. I feel like it would also be a form of creative expression for you, Aries. There may be something of like whatever it is that this idea is also involves your creativity in some way, or how you express yourself, or like something creative. It's a really, all of this water. The water is like, water is primarily the element that you're working with at the moment. So it could be very like loving. It could come from the heart, but it's also creativity and flow as well. Like the sacral chakra is really highlighted here, but it feels kind of like there's something about like, I feel like maybe you're seeing this other person, the person that you're trying to give to, you're seeing them as having more experience than you, right? Like, it's like, Yeah, like metaphorically giving Claire Saffitz like a baked cake, right? It's like she would, of all the people to receive a cake, like she would be the one to be able to see all the flaws, all the potential flaws, Aries. I'm just saying it because it's like, it's coming out with the beginning energy that maybe you're seeing yourself as a beginner where the other person is an expert. That kind of energy, right? There's a difference in experience. I feel like, though, you don't have anything to worry about. It's just kind of feeling like it's like you want it to be so heartfelt. That's how it's coming through. And trust that intention will be felt and understood is how it's feeling like. Because it feels almost very personal. Like whatever it is that you're trying to give feels very personal. Like you want them to maybe there's an aspect of like seeking someone's approval. So just be conscious of that. I don't know necessarily that you're like seeking approval from them, but it could be. That just be conscious of that. But I do feel that it is like a form of creative expression at the same time, right? Maybe you're learning some sort of like new, like, for example, I've been learning how to sew. So it could be like things like maybe I'm going to make a whole bunch of things for my family for Christmas, that kind of thing. If I felt inclined, I don't know. There's something like that coming through. Like maybe it's like a form of creative expression for you, but that you also want to give to other people through that outlet. The empty room. Interesting. And you have the Queen at the bottom of the deck. I was just getting something about love languages. Maybe gift giving is one of your love languages. Or maybe that's another person's love language. Like, it kind of feels like maybe there's a difference in love languages. Or something like that. Okay. Maybe it's something like that. Like, maybe you are trying to, like, express love to someone who has a different love language. So it's kind of like maybe you're trying to speak their language, right? Like, you're learning that person's language, but they're an expert in that language because that's their love language, right? But you are an expert in a different love language is how it's coming through. So maybe there's something about love languages here, especially because gift giving is being highlighted. But there's a lot of watery energy here. Anyway, I'm going to read the empty room because this one, that's unexpected. Okay. The vortex, the abyss, the nothing. The empty room haunts us all. It is the universal and all too frequent feeling of lack, of wanting, of the craving to fill ourselves with something or anything. We too often attempt to remedy the discomfort of the empty room by any means necessary, leading us to a culture of more. Ironically, the empty room is filled to the brim with potential, yet we perceive it as not enough. This card is a cry for patience, for sitting within the barren walls of not knowing, for awaiting true vision and purpose before attaching to what we should do next to save our outward appearance. Be with the nothingness, be with the impatience. The empty room has immense power. Let others wonder what you are doing. If you can settle into the magic of emptiness, you will soon hear its whispers of wisdom. Interesting. Yeah, the archetype of the empty room is also portrayed as the hungry ghost, always feeding and never satiated. Okay, it's not in this description, but I think the empty room is also mentioned in The Creator. I'm gonna see if I can find... Okay. the creator archetype, where it says here, hold on. Is it in this one? Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to read this section. The creator is not intimidated by darkness or by lack. They know that from the void, creation inevitably emerges. With meager, minimal, and outlandish materials, the creator reveals a new image. They make the empty room resonate with healing sounds. They generate bounty from the seed that others tossed away. Though generative, this archetype annihilates preconceived notions of what is possible, leaving unexpected openings in the wake of its destruction. Interesting, because it feels kind of like you're at the brink of this creator energy. That's how it's coming through. Maybe that's something that you're learning, or that because you're at the beginning of something. It's like you've just brushed the surface of something is how it's coming through. You're at the surface of something. I feel like maybe, I actually feel like in this empty room energy, there's an idea. You have an idea already, Aries, is how it's coming through. You have an idea. I feel like it's just the beginning of something. It's not like it's, but I feel like because it's going to take a bit of an energy investment, maybe you're hesitating, is just how it's coming through. For whatever reason. It might also be, and you have the Lion at the bottom of the deck. This came out in yesterday's, the Lion and the Queen. Interesting. I'm not so much getting that hungry ghost energy, because you have the Whale. I feel like that's not a concern for you. But I don't know. Maybe keep that in mind. Maybe just be patient, Aries. Sorry, I know that's possibly the worst thing you could tell an Aries is to be patient. But that's how it's coming through with the empty room. Because it's kind of like, I feel like maybe this idea is going to grow, or that there's going to be more that sort of is revealed, perhaps. This feels like something that is going to unfold over time. So if it's something of like a creative process, or like it could be something of like a new hobby, or like something that like something that is a creative outlet of expression for you, it feels like it's gonna get bigger in whatever way. It's gonna grow. It's gonna be it's gonna outgrow the empty room eventually, but I feel like right now you're in this empty room space, where maybe you're starting from nothing, though, because I feel like the creator, even though that didn't come out, I feel like you're in this creation energy, or at least starting to be in that energy. The beginning of the creator is how it's coming through. Beginning of the creator energy. But you're in the empty room right now and having to work with minimal resources is how it's feeling. But the creator can absolutely excel at that, right? They can take sort of like ingredients, right, that are left behind, and make something out of it. I feel like there's something here as well. You have absolutely everything that you need already in the empty room in order to create whatever this is. You have just enough ingredients is how it's coming through. Like, if you're making dinner, for example, right? Maybe you don't have a clear idea, but then you suddenly get an inspiration to create something, and you have everything that you need already in your pantry. It's like you don't have to go out and get it. It's like you have everything. You have everything. That's how it's coming through for you, Aries. You have everything that you need in order to create this. The way in which you put it together, though, is part of your creativity, right? You need to use your creativity in order to, like, put everything together. That's how it's feeling. But it feels very successful. It feels very successful. It may take a bit of trial and error. But that's part of the creative process as well. Yeah, okay. This is a card about nurturing a seed. Whatever idea it is that you are playing with at the moment, it's like, it feels so much more than an idea. That's the thing. It's like you're some sort of manifestation. It's like, I'm gonna read this one, but it's something that you nurture over time, right? I feel like it's also something where it's like the growth is not immediately visible, like from day to day, right? Like if you were to look at a plant and see how it grows, it's not always obvious. The growth is very subtle. But if you were to take like a time lapse, for example, you could see that the plant is growing. It's something that takes time. That's how it's coming through. Okay. So this card says, every seed we plant becomes a part of us just as we become a part of it. To understand the growth process and the care, the nurturing, and the attention it requires, there is nothing quite as effective as the process of planting a seed and caring for it as it grows. When we plant seeds, we step into the role of nurturer. As nurturers, we must cultivate the patience to water the seed and to care for the seed. We must make sure that it receives the right amount of sunlight as it grows so that it can be strong and sturdy and well nourished. Caring for the seeds we plant teaches us how to care for ourselves and how to care for our planet because it attunes us to the daily care and subtle shifts necessary for each plant to thrive. Plant a seed and nurture it like it's your most exquisite version of yourself, because it is. Yeah. You're nurturing a seed, or perhaps an aspect of yourself. It could be you're nurturing like this creative aspect of yourself. Because it's coming out with outer core, it could also be some aspect of like your identity or what people associate with you. There was a period of time when I was like baking a lot. And so my little sister would like bring my baked goods to like her friends. And so to her friends, I became known as the baker. Even though that's like, I don't know. It's something like that. Like maybe other people would associate this with you now, or like if they would in the future, you would become known as this, is how it's coming through to like other people or to strangers or something like that. Okay. Interesting. This is a card about your guides and your ancestors are sending you messages and synchronicities to pay attention, to listen. It keeps coming through as being like you've only just brushed the surface of it. Whatever this is, like imagine the ocean. It's like you're in like a very like, it's almost like you're in a pool, Aries. You're in like a pool and you're just getting a taste of the ocean, but the whole ocean is available to you. That's how it's coming through. You're in this empty room, but metaphorically, but I feel like there's something about like, you are, whatever this thing is going to take you out of the empty room in whatever way, or that this like project or manifestation or idea is going to grow beyond the empty room, is how it's coming through. The empty room was really not something that I was expecting, but it makes a lot of sense. I feel like you have like just the right amount of something. At least for this part of the manifestation. You have like just enough to create this idea is how it's coming through. And more will come. Yeah, okay. Land, mountain, earth. I always find that card so interesting. I think part of the creator energy for you is about breaking something down first, right? Like it's kind of like there's a bit of a destroyer energy, but it's in order to create something. For example, like if you're sewing, right? Like you need to cut the fabric, right? You have to take one large piece and cut it into the appropriate pattern pieces. There could be something like that. I feel like maybe that might be the hardest part of whatever this creation is that first it involves you having to break something down is how it's feeling. Okay, I'm going to read this card because I feel like there's something in here. Okay. Your path has been fruitful and you have achieved success and amassed many blessings. But who is this success serving? Your vision, your light, and your gifts were bestowed upon you in order for you to serve others, not just yourself. Take some time to drop in and examine whom you are really serving. And once you figure that out, then ask yourself how you can amplify that service on behalf of others and how many others your gifts can serve. Sure, you can achieve some success and some happiness when you serve yourself, but when you align your path to be in service to the whole world, well, love, that's when your life gets giant. Yeah. Okay. Maybe there is something here about like shifting your focus maybe, because I feel like whatever it is, it's already been 42 minutes. Okay. Whatever it is that this gift is, now it's coming through as being like a gift of yours. Like you have a gift or a talent or a skill or something like that you're being asked to nurture or to grow or to explore more in order to serve others, Aries. That's how it's coming through. Maybe it's not like you're giving a gift to someone, but it could be. That could be part of it. But it also is coming through as being like your gifts, your spiritual gifts maybe, that you're being asked to sort of tune to other people. Okay, here. Waterfall star. That's coming out with the whale card. That one doesn't come out that much, but okay, one second. Your purity of spirit and heart-based actions have not gone unnoticed. Your sacred presence is known and cherished by many. By those whose hearts you've expanded and whose cups you've filled with your generosity, your integrity, and your love. Bask in the knowingness that you are seen and that you are appreciated. Feel the acknowledgement. Receive the adoration. Allow yourself to be recognized for the truth of your spirit and the unconditional love that you emanate. This love that is pouring into you now is a reflection of your own greatness. The more you are able to take in, the more you serve your community by modeling graceful receiving and the expansive power of love. Okay. Aries, maybe you are the one receiving something. I'm not sure. It feels very much like maybe it's both. This could be one of those readings where you are both, where like you are both, like maybe you're thinking of giving something to someone, but someone's also thinking of giving something to you. And it's like, this is, because it could be that you are also the whale. I don't know. There's a lot here. Maybe you're seeing yourself as being a beginner when you're not. Maybe you're seeing yourself as being an empty room when you're not, or something like that. It's kind of like, maybe you're not seeing yourself clearly, or maybe there's something about like, I don't know. Both of these images are really powerful today. Like this sort of waterfall and mountain energy. I'm going to pull, one more card. Emotional. That's right at the center. Are you taking care of your emotions, Aries? Because there's a lot of water here. I feel, there's something that's, And then fire candle star at the bottom of the deck. There's something that's like moving you emotionally that like, I don't know, maybe you're feeling inspired to create something, but it feels like it's being driven from an emotional standpoint, right? Like you're feeling, maybe you're feeling like you want to create something that's coming from your emotional experience in some way. I'm not going to read this card because I feel like it's okay. So it is talking about like connecting with your feeling state, right? Your feelings, your creativity, intimacy, and connection. This is something where it's like if you're creating something, you just get like lost in the flow of it, right? Because it feels so good. There could be something about that that's happening for you. Maybe you're exploring some sort of like an emotional outlet that feels very creative. But I feel like there's something about that energy that feels kind of like uncomfortable for you for whatever reason. Because maybe you're used to creating with fire. This is creating with water. It's different. It's a different experience. The only fire card that you have is this Ancestor Fire card, which talks about, it's actually very passive. It's one where it's like you're receiving, you're listening, you're attuning. That's how it's coming through. So maybe there's this energy for you where it's like you're creating with water. You're creating with an emotional experience is how it's feeling. At the same time, it's helping you to like tend to something. It could also be like it's part of like tending to your emotional health and well-being with that sort of like Virgo energy. Like whatever it is you're creating, it is good for your emotional health. That's how it feels. It's really lovely. And I feel like whatever this gift or craft or whatever it is that you're doing is, down the line, I feel like it would also have the potential outcome of being of service to others as well. It's like right now, though, it might be something that you just do for yourself, right? To like tend to your emotional well-being, but it could be further down the line something that you share with others that helps others or to serves others, that helps to serve others. Okay, Aries, I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.